Hi, and welcome to this really, just a brief introduction about my family and myself. As you can see, I'm Andy and I'm the curate that's come here to join you all here at Blackroad, Daisy Hill, West Taunton and Wingate's team ministry. It's been sort of over 12 months when I first met with Reverend Carol, and here I am today. And we're actually now in St James's Vicarage, and we're so pleased to be here. And I have to say, we've had one of the most amazing welcomes, and it's been so lovely to meet people and to be coming around the parish. What I'm going to do is really use the same sort of format that Reverend Carol very kindly did in terms of some interview questions, and so that's how I'm going to approach this really. And the first one was really about us as the Joneses. As you see, there's two pictures here, one with my mum and Katie's mum and dad and our son Harry and myself, and there's a picture of Katie there. This is taken on one of our many jollies that we go off to Wales and have a holiday there. I'm married to Katie, been married to Katie for 9 years, and we have a son, Harry. The dog, sadly, Pickle, is no longer with us. We have another dog now called Blaze, who's a little black and white dog, and he's smashing the pitch right in. Both Harry and Blaze love the garden. We've never had a garden before, and it's amazing. They spend all their time running around the garden, just getting tired generally. Harry's now attending St George's School, so sometimes he'll agree to walk with me and sometimes he won't. Katie's working, and she works for Rochdale Children's Services, and she's an occupational therapist there. As a family, we love doing lots and lots of things. We like lots of outdoor pursuits, walking, camping, just generally going out to different places, especially at sea. So that's really a bit about us. What did I do really before I arrived here at the parish? So I was employed by Rochdale Adult Care Services. I was up to 12 months ago, I was what they call an integrated neighbourhood lead. So I was looking after a neighbourhood team that it had social workers, OTs, district nurses, support staff involved, and we looked after each of the three neighbourhood integrated leads, looked after two of the localities in Rochdale. And towards the end of my time in Rochdale, I became a head of service for quality assurance. So I was looking at making sure that we were sort of legal compliant within the service. I made sure practice was up to date and in line with law, especially with the social workers and the OTs. And I also dealt with a lot of the safeguarding and complex cases, ensuring that we were doing correct practice in the service. Which was about my favourite food, and as you see, it is pizza. Pizza, I love pizza, especially a vegetarian pizza. Me and Katie are both vegetarians, and I always love hot, spicy vegetarian pizza. That's my favourite. When I got married to Katie, some members of the team that I worked with actually bought me a make your own hot and spicy vegetarian pizza, as they knew that would be one of the best gifts I could have. Carol posed a question of amazing sights I've seen, and it's a bit of a cheat really, because the amazing sight that I'm talking about really, this is a picture here of one of the many shots taken along the railway journey from Glasgow to Mallaig. Mallaig is sort of one of the ports, a very small port that you can go from to the Inner Hebrides and Outer Hebrides, and Katie and myself, we've gone many a time on this journey. It's about a 9-hour train journey, and you go through some fantastic countryside, and you see loads and loads as you're carrying on through the different mountain ranges, open countryside, sea scenes, and it's such a favourite journey we have. We have a lovely tea trolley that comes along and sells your tea, coffee and Tunnock wafers, which is always a delight. And we get to Mallaig and we go across to see our friends that live over on the Isle of Egg. And again, on the Isle of Egg, it's just such a beautiful island, and there's a mountain they would call their Sker, that you climb that, when you get up there you look around and you just seem to be literally in the middle of nowhere, and it's absolutely wonderful. So that, I have to say, is one of my most amazing sights I see of travelling on that journey. was, what animal would I be? And it is a bee. I thought about this a lot, and bees to me are so important, how much they help our environment. When you think about bees go around and do so much pollination, but how they work together as a community, I think that is fantastic. That they, as a group, they make sure that the whole community survive, they produce everything for the whole community, and it's just such an endearing sight, I always think, when I see the first sets of bees buzzing around the garden. And I just always think, we've got better weather arrived, and here they are. These workers are actually coming to help us with our environment. And I think the other thing about bees, which is probably not as widely known, there's so many different varieties, and how they have different roles within in those different varieties as well. So bee is definitely my animal who I'd like to be. Favourite Bible story, I always go back to Mark 1 and the story there of Jesus walking along the shoreline. A picture here that we see of Jesus coming along the side of the fisherman, and it's when Jesus says, come follow me. Many different Bible verses have different versions, but it's come follow me and be fishers of men, come follow me, be fish for men. But it's that call from Jesus, that call to come follow me, and it's really always, to me, so rewarding to hear that Jesus chose these fishermen to come and follow him. He didn't ask for qualifications, he didn't ask for any great reams of knowledge that people would have of what he was going to do. He just wanted people that were going to follow him, that were going to become disciples, that were going to become so wrapped up and supported in his ministry. It was just so brilliant to hear that they would just drop their nets and follow him. And that's always stuck with me, that Jesus chooses us as ordinary people, just in everyday lives, to be discipled, and we are there to be that humble servant. We're all there to go and follow and, help fish, help spread the nets, and help spread that love of Jesus. It's a picture of me wearing a nice Scottish Highland cattle mask there on my ordination day. And Carol asked the question of, how did my ordination day go? Well, I said it obviously in the last two services I didn't realise there was an Ironman competition here in Bolton. So once I got over the view of how I actually got to the cathedral on the day, and I felt a bit of a sigh of relief. It was quite amazing, really, when I rode with all my other peers and we're in the cathedral as people started arriving. I felt a great sort of quite stillness. Despite all this nerves, and I'd had that Christmas Eve feeling the night before, of I couldn't sleep, waiting when was Santa going to come. But it was there, and I still couldn't believe that it was there. I've had very much this last year, for a long time really, this imposter syndrome, that someone's going to come along and say, no, this is not your call, this is not for you. But no, it was here. And the moment, I think, when the bishop laid his hands on me, to me it seemed like hours, but it was probably seconds, minutes at the most of that time. But that stillness and that moment there with God and with the congregation and everyone there being supportive towards that future ministry, for me to be a humble servant, it was so amazing and actually so hard to comprehend as well. And I'm still doing that very much, pinching myself that I can't believe that I'm here as a curate with yourselves, serving the Lord and serving you as the team ministry here as well. And I think it did, it has sort of quite a profound effect on me, really, in terms of what I'm here now to do, but about that trust that Jesus has placed in me, and that for me now to actually go forward with that ministry is such it's such a privilege, and such a privilege to be able to meeting all of you and to be working with you. Carol asked what a wish for the parish, or a wish for all the churches, and I think my biggest one at the moment is there's such a flux as we're coming out of COVID, and the restrictions are slowly being lifted in different formats, that we've got many brothers and sisters in Christ that might not have been to church, might not have felt safe, and still might not feel safe. that we come together as a community, that we come together as a worshipping community, of how we can support each one another and how we can make sure that we are all going to be coming and worshipping and praising the Lord, but that we're looking after each other, because it's we should be loving our neighbours as ourselves. We should be looking about how we can support each other. And I think when people have got fear and anxiety, it's how we can help that and what we can do, but still getting people to come back to church as well, in whatever format that might be. That might be different, that people still carry on with online, but let's make sure we reach out to that wider community and keep that connectivity. And we've got lots of brothers and sisters in Christ that come to follow the Lord, come to church through the opportunities that have led from the pandemic through the more virtual world. And it's encouraging people to come into church as well, to experience and to gain that love of the Lord. But I think that's what my wish would be, is that we come together and we, as a worshipping community, we offer that hand, that support, that love to all around us as we carry forward in these next few months and years. Well, that's all really I wanted to say about me and my family. I've gone on a bit really there, but please, if you see me and you see me out on the street, or if you're anywhere, have a chat. I'd love to get to know you, and I'd love to know people, and I feel so privileged to be here. So thank you very much to you all.